Good evening. Welcome back to Expat in Science. I'm your host, Rajaman Dian. We are still with Miss Margarita Gloor of Switzerland, and she is going to tell us why the Swiss are so sensitive and so sensible and so nice. What makes them so different from the rest of the world, Marguerite?
Well, I guess we are a small country.
Okay.
And we have many high mountains.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have to really be very disciplined. So the little land we have in the valleys that we can maximize, that up to the mountains we have the vines, we have, you know, we have a lot of agricultural areas, but there is a lot of small companies who are doing extremely well because in Switzerland. They are very disciplined, high-tech. There's a lot of high-tech
small companies.
Small companies, and some are really quite big.
Are they in research or technology?
Technology and research, of course, you have to the farmer. So I think that I guess the Swiss are really very sensitive for the environment, and really also we're just disciplined because we have to be, so everything is perfect, you know, to the millimeter, so that we are efficient.
So not sensible but disciplined.
I think we are disciplined, you know. I think Swiss are as human as anybody else.
Okay.
You know.
Before we talk about this project that you are working with, coffee, no? Circle of Friends, I have two Swiss questions to take from you. The first Swiss question has been on my mind ever since I invited you. One is, why does the whole world stash their money in Switzerland? Is it the mountains that keep it safe?
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Would you think? Do you think some of the money could come to the Philippines and, you know, just help us out here? Is that possible?
Well, I think some of the money that has been in Switzerland actually has been successfully returned to the Philippines.
To the Philippines.
Yeah,
to the
it has been returned. Yes.
Well, how about the interest and the penalties that?
I'm not a banker, so I don't know about those.
Okay. Another thing is that from the time that I was a kid, there's something called yodeling. Yodeling, am I saying it right?
Yes.
And the Swiss do it. It comes from Switzerland. Is it because of the mountains? And it sounds really cool. So what is yodeling?
Yodeling is a song that not everybody can do. Really, only very few, because it's the tongue. It's the way you sing it. I do not know how to yodel.
You don't know how to do it?
No, I don't know how to yodel.
Okay. What we'll do? We have a little clip showing how to yodel. We'll show it to you at the end of the show.
Very well.
Now, can you please tell us about this thing that is so beautifully coming out of your heart, Circle of Friends, and what you're doing for people with disabilities in the Philippines? Can you, Margarita, share that?
Well, when I came back in 86, 87, the kids were gone. I had some time, and then I went to Tahanang Walang Hagdanan.
Tahanang Walang Hagdanan.
In
Home without
town.
homes.
Home without steps or stairs, yes. Because Sister Valeriana invited me, said, come and have a look.
Who?
Sister Valeriana, she's a Belgian nun who founded it in 70 with the help of the Belgian government and some Australians, House with No Steps in Australia. She said, come and see, because I was looking for a job. I figured the kids are gone, I cannot.
This is 1986?
That was in 86, yeah.
And Cainta Rizal, it still exists?
That's right, it's still there. I was there yesterday. They're doing our sewing. They do a lot of work for us.
Anyway, go ahead with the story. Huh?
And then she'd come and have a look, because I really wanted to work. I cannot sit idle. I'm always busy.
I can see that.
I was busy with the kids. I was happy with that. And then when I saw the center, I figured, well, I think I'd rather spend time with them. There are 240 people in wheelchairs.
This was back in 86?
In 86, 87. So I worked with them as a friend, as a volunteer.
What did you do?
Quality control. I knew product development. And then every time I would go, you know, being an expat, we'd have home leave, I'd go, and I would see that abroad people...
Were you working somewhere at the time?
No, I wasn't just helping them.
Oh, but you were not on a job,
I gave up the idea of having a job. But then I saw that whenever you went abroad, you would see people in wheelchairs having transportation and having jobs, having the freedom to be, you know, I mean, to be around. And then I came back and said, what's missing? And I realized that what was lacking here, while TWH, Tahanang Walang Hagdanan, TWH in short, while they make their own wheelchairs, there was no transportation for beyond the wheelchair. And I realized that in Switzerland or in the States, if you were in a wheelchair, there was a van with a ramp.
Right. Right.
And they could get your
buses in the USA.
Also,
if you get to a bus stop and the bus has this little mechanism where you can just connect your wheelchair and the bus picks up the wheelchair and puts you right in.
In Switzerland, we have it's manual, and actually I just found out this year that it's the law that any new public transport has to have a ramp.
In Switzerland or in the Philippines too?
I wish.
No, in the Philippines there's no law.
Not yet, no law.
Yeah, okay.
No, but they don't even have one bus.
Yeah, they have one bus now? None? There's no bus?
I think there is not one bus, other than the bus Tahanang Warang Hakdanan has.
The ones that you people,
heavy.
TWH is putting up.
They have a very heavy one. It takes 6 people to carry the ramp or to take the ramp off. So in 2002, when I visited my hometown, my school friend said, when she asked me what I was doing.
What's your school town? What's your hometown?
Altstetten. It's near Austria.
Altstetten.
Altstetten means old city. We are more than 1,100 years old. It's a beautiful old city.
Okay.
And then I was able to finally see how such a car is fabricated, because I have nobody who has a disability.
A car or a big van?
A car or a big van.
Yeah.
Because in Europe you have smaller cars with a ramp.
Yeah.
And so in 2003, thanks to Zurich Family
Can you
Foundation.
pause for a minute, because I think they're showing the pictures of your vans on TV.
Yeah, you see,
so
that's
the
the ramp. The ramp, we have to import the ramp from Germany, but the rest is manufactured here in the Philippines.
Can we continue this? So go on. Talk,
and it holds 2 people.
Yeah.
It holds 2 people.
Yeah.
So not because we have to go beyond the wheelchair, and the wheelchairs are made by Tahanang Walang Hagdanan, by people in wheelchairs themselves.
So people with disabilities are now making these new vans?
They have been making, not the vans, they have been making the wheelchairs.
Okay, all right.
We are the ones who have made the first, we call it the wheelmobile.
Wheelmobile,
the first transportation.
The ones we saw in the picture a while ago, okay.
That's right. It's a van. We bought the chassis, we fabricated.
Marguerite, question, very important question. Switzerland is about 8 million, US is about 350 million, and Philippines about 95 million, going more, no? What's the number of people who have this need for, of course, wheelchairs? There's a huge market, there are people selling that. What's the number of people out on the street, approximately, maybe you don't know, who need this help?
Approximately orthopedically disabled in Switzerland, 2%.
And here? And here?
Same thing, worldwide. So you figure out how much.
2%, so 95. That's about about 1.5 million people with disabilities.
They are not they're not seen. They are not visible. They are there, no matter what. They are hiding.
So
they
it's
are
a major sorry.
It's a major plight. It's a major, because people say, oh, they have a wheelchair. You know, but even in Switzerland, it's only 20 years ago or so that really more people were supported, really. They were also stuck at home before, so
wow, so this
it's
is
a lot,
huge.
2%, yes, it
so
really is
even
huge.
if it was not 2%, even if it was just
that's what I say, even if it's only 0.5, it's still a lot of people, and
even
they need transportation.
Correct.
Yes.
And so is there any body in this country, whether it's the Department of Public Works and DPWH, or is it any other department?
We have been in touch with them last year, or this year even, and they really want to have buses plowing the roads, or rather than changing the old buses, they suggest to have new buses, small buses, like we have also in Switzerland with a ramp, to at least get started. They're really very serious, but of course now we had a change in changing president, changing people, and so by next year we will really seriously sit down with them and share what we know. We have 4 wheelmobiles. One we turned over to Tahanang.
These were funded by just expats?
No, well, the first one was funded by the Zurich Family Foundation.
Correct.
Through a golf tournament.
Okay.
Zurich Pharma, without them I would not exist anymore, and some other big donors in Switzerland.
I
really have to mention that. And we really are counting on other Swiss companies and other companies, of course the Filipinos, to support our endeavor to fabricate more wheelmobiles in the Philippines. Each municipality ought to have a wheelmobile. For the countryside, I was in Tahanang yesterday. They are fabricating tricycles. You should see the tricycles, accessible tricycles.
Marguerite, pause. I'm going to ask them to show your PowerPoint presentation so you can talk through the slides and talk about the people who are supporting you and your projects. We have 3 minutes to close for another break, no?
Okay.
So 3 minutes just to run through that PowerPoint and you talk about it, and just invite people who would like to help you in this special, very honorable endeavor that you are undertaking.
Okay.
So can we just put on the, yeah, there it is. See, that's a circle of friends. That's coffee.
And the wheelmobile.
Yeah.
And the happy feet is children who are born with club feet but did not have a chance to be treated.
Oh, it's another sub...
That is something else. That just happened.
Okay.
It's another project.
So you have these 3 wheelmobiles that were created by coffee.
We actually have 4. We have 4,
yeah, okay,
and one we turned over to Tahanang Walang Hagdanan.
Right, okay. Yeah, the next slide, yeah. And so Zulig was one of your
It was
funders,
the first, yes.
Yeah? And now how are you sustaining yourself now? These are people who work for you? This is
we had a golf tournament. My husband helps me with the golf tournament,
right,
so we raise also awareness. It has been extremely difficult to...
How many people work for coffee?
We have we have now 3 drivers.
This seems still challenging, you know, to push up a wheelchair on a rack. There can be another kind of a mechanism to do
No,
that.
because you don't want to have, it's very expensive, and if there is floods and water, it has a little hydraulic lift. I can lift it up with one arm.
Okay.
It's easy. It has straps inside.
Right.
See, this is the children born with club feet. Much better when it's done when they're born. No more operation, Ponseti method through casting. And it's quite incredible.
Wow.
This is Robin and Carlo and Maffei.
Wow,
we have
you
3.
know them personally.
Yes,
Okay.
they are just gorgeous. And they're all
what
basically...
do you mean consummated?
Ponseti, it's a method. It's a Spanish doctor.
Yeah.
He's over 90, living in the States. See, you have to have casting, big casting for about 6 months, all the way up to here. Every day it's adjusted, adjusted, adjusted.
Right.
After that, go to the next one. You will have day braces, night braces, and that's something else.
Well, these are other projects that
that is our fundraiser.
Yeah, okay, here we go. So we are ending the presentation and we are taking a break. So these are the people, can you hang on to the slide, yeah? So these are the people who are helping coffee, or these are the founders?
Those were the founders.
Yeah.
Those were the founders in '98.
Okay, fantastic. So thank you very much for sharing this with us. So we'll take a break and we'll come back and talk to Margarita and find out how you and I can support coffee or people with disabilities in this country. So stay with us. This is Expat in Science. I'm your host, Raju Mandhian.